Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to DocuSweeties.
We're two longtime friends to discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy and fucking awful world of docu-series and reality TV.
Which, yeah, through our own lens, which trigger warning can be really, really hard to watch. And I'm so happy it's fucking over. And listen, I don't know what to tell you. If I don't know what to tell you, there'll be maybe some sweetness at the end, but really just like people move on. It's bittersweet. It's just the survival of people is what we can talk about at the end. Hi. What are we talking
Hey,
about?
so we're
Wah?
talking about Jared from Subway, Catching a Monster, episode 3. You can find this documentary on Discovery Plus. That's where you can find
Okay.
it. Not sure where else you can find it on regular TV, but definitely Discovery Plus. So if you're a TLC Discovery girly, then you'll know where to find it. So we had to do this mainly because
We started.
Jared was such a big part of our zeitgeist growing up, or at least in the aughts. And Chris was going to tell a joke, so tell the joke. Oh, we have to because we started it. I thought that's what you were gonna say. So
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that is what I said.
I hate you.
It landed.
No.
It landed.
I
It
hate you.
landed.
I hate you.
Why
I
did
hate
we
you.
go back? They heard it.
Just
You know.
tell the joke, Chris. No, I wasn't telling a joke. Oh, that joke I said 5 seconds ago. Hilarious. Okay.
I already said it so long ago. I forgot it happened.
So yeah, you guys, let's just get this over with. So we left off last episode where Rochelle is kind of at a dead end, and Russell has gotten arrested for child inappropriate television. And the girls get a call from their mother saying, "Hey, check the news," which is like wild that your mother would tell you that your stepfather was arrested and then won't tell you why, but then tells you to Google it. The weirdest thing. It's like that's the new age mothering in my mind. Like it's just wild. So we start off episode 3 where Rochelle is pissed. And at this point, she is prevented from talking to the local police. And so she decides to do so anyway. Because she's like, there is a monster on the loose, and I spent too many years undercover for you guys to not do something about it. And so she her local police. And she told them, and they were like, this is crazy. However, let's just trust and verify. Well, let's not trust, but let's verify. So then they call the FBI and they're like, hey, this crazy lady told us this thing. The FBI is like, oh yeah, it is happening, but shut her up.
Yeah. Chris, who's like the kind of like motorcycle riding, like very lovely, older, kind of like butchy cop person who is, I mean, very sexy, very, very sexy woman who looks great in her older age, was like, yeah, when I first saw her, I was like, is this just like a crazy fan? This is like a crazy ass Jared fan that like is like, if he won't be mine, I'll take him down by saying he's a pedophile, and I'll go to the first lady cop I see and say pedophile, and then he'll love me. Like it could be. You know what I'm saying? Because there's crazy people out there, but no. Also, we don't know. Like Rochelle is throughout this docuseries, at first sort of suspect. You know what I'm saying? In every way. Like, why do you do this to me?
Because I love the up close. I feel like when we're in the other scenario, like I'm just far back. In this one, I'm just like intimate,
Yeah, I don't mind it, but earlier when you were speaking of like intimate portrait, I thought you were talking about this very moment. Anyway, Rochelle, like people are always kind of like, I don't know about you, but however, across the board, that's how women are taken anyway. So like there is no perfect either victim or, like you can't just be like, unless she's gorgeous and like perfect looking and does her makeup ideally, we can't take her seriously.
Also, how many cases are there, national cases, of fans just running up and telling lies? Like, I know that happens, but I'm saying, like, how, it doesn't happen on a national scale for me to justify a police officer not believing somebody who says that someone else is a pedophile.
You have to take, I don't know. She just, whatever. She had to do her due diligence and, but she's being honest about her first take. Um, yes.
Okay. Came back from our commercial. Hey guys. So you're right. I do think that like there is some kind of validity to it, but it's like the same thing about people not believing folks who say they were like sexually assaulted. It's like how much of the lies come through to where you just don't believe somebody. What is that natural human instinct to not believe the victim? You know, we have to like go against our natural human instinct in order to kind of make this thing happen. So anyways, she does this thing and she tells the police officers, if you're not going to do something, I'm going to go to the radio station. And the police officer is like, tut, 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 crime. That is a crime. There's an ongoing investigation. And because it's not happening as fast as you want it to happen, you are going to be charged with obstructing of whatever. And so, she let it be known that that's what she was going to do, or she might do, or she was considering doing it. So the FBI treat her like she's a criminal, and they raid her radio station. They raid her home to find any bits of evidence that she didn't turn over. And here's the truth. We find out later in this episode that she still had evidence. She hid it. She somehow managed to hide that evidence. And it's probably because her homeboys at the radio station tipped her off that she was going to get raided. Let me just tell you the state of affairs that Rochelle is in. She is distraught. She is antisocial at this point. She is not eating. She doesn't have a good relationship with either of her children. In fact, we found out at the end of the episode that her son moved to Taiwan and never looked back. Like, we don't even know what happened to her daughter. We never, not hide nor hair of her. So this year or 2 years or whatever the time that she's spent in this completely changed this woman's way of life.
And listen, the toll it took on her body, her mind, her relationships was heavy. So, she starts to talk about how she got sick, really, really sick. And it became, like too much to bear. It immobilized her. She was like in a wheelchair. Now they call it something called suicide disease. And
it's actually called trigeminal neuralgia. It is TGN. It means unpredictable bouts of severe pain that makes everyday living unbearable. Every aspect of life becomes shrouded in currents of unrelenting shocks to the face, causing both physical and mental anguish.
Unrelenting shocks to the face. Like, I mean, listen, this is not this, I'm not making a joke, but like, this is true. Like, I've gotten, like electrolysis and laser on my face before. I've gotten laser done on my face. I've gotten all therapy done on my face, like, I've gotten lasers of every kind all over my face done for various reasons,
Oh. Well, this is, I think, like,
you would know that if you're watching Patreon.
This is like fibromyalgia for the face, it feels like.
That's horrible. So I'm just saying, like, I wonder if I can feel something, if I felt something akin to it, is my only, just because I've had so much extensive work done on my face. Patreon, you can see it, $10. Now here's the thing. So we also like jump back because, as we said, we ended episode 2 with the sudden realization that Russell Taylor was going under, and in the weird vague way, the two girls we have already met from episode 1, the two sisters, just like literally hear from their mom, as Wa said, that like, Russell Taylor just like, Google it. They're like, Google our stepdad. You talk, just use your voice. What are you talking about, mom? And like, it was like child pornography. So now we're gonna like jump to figuring out like what's happening with them. Jared is, as the docu is saying, is just like, killing it in the financial game. He's just so many like commercials. He's $15 million. He's just like, he can make it rain, and he does. Except instead of like, like just hardy strippers that, are just like, he's making it rain on.
Yeah, anyway. Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
So let's jump back. So we were in 2014 in Indianapolis.
We're in 2014 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Something gets to the desk of the FBI, right? And it's the fact that someone has found that there are pictures of a female human adult with an animal. Now, there being pictures of it isn't a crime.
A 15 human adult? No. What did you say? A 15-year-old?
No, I
Child?
nope, didn't say
Oh.
any of those
What'd you say,
things.
babe?
I said female,
Oh.
adult female.
Okay, adult female.
So bestiality. So this is called bestiality. Bestiality pics, which is like, remember in the early days. Remember in the early days of the internet? I remember this because I was living in LA. So this must have been in like 2005. Remember there was this, like, it was 2 girls, 1 cup, right?
Oh.
And then there was another like video of a man and a horse. And this is I mean, listen, if you guys go search Waha Molina on YouTube, you'll see my reaction to said things. Maybe I hid it.
But I hope you did.
I did reaction videos. Me and Ashley did reaction. This is the Wild West, Chris. This is the beginning of YouTube. And I had a YouTube channel and I filmed my reaction of a man deciding to engage in acts with a horse. So, we didn't know any better. We didn't know. We were just trying to be cutting edge, and it was the beginning of time. Really, the beginning of the internet is the beginning of time. Truthfully, in this modern era, Kurt Loder and like what is MTV talking about the internet and the dangers of it, like that was in our lifetime. I remember when we couldn't even get resources from the internet for our school projects because it was like this fake place that didn't exist and was like lies. And now it's like the end all be all. Anyways, so now we have these police officers, these FBI people, who have linked these photos back to a person by the name of Russell Taylor. We remember him from last episode. He's best friends with Jared. They fed each other's addiction, and he is like the executive producer of his nonprofit. And the images of an adult female in contact with an animal was of Angie Taylor. And Angie Taylor is the mother of the 2 girls who recall their time with Russell Taylor as their stepdad. He was a charismatic man. Then FBI goes to him and puts him in jail, raids his home, and finds that he has not only child pornography, but hidden cameras all throughout the freaking house. I mean, in the kids' private spaces. And then the daughters tell us something that we're just not fucking prepared for. And this is why it's very important. Parents can't be trusted. Some parents can. If you're a parent out there and you're a good parent, you can be trusted. But I think, and this is something that I told Chris last week when she was like, I hate this and I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, I get it. It's gross. It's hard to hear. It's disgusting. However, if we don't talk about these things, then these things can continue to perpetuate. Because until folks are aware that such atrocities can occur on Prairie Lane in the middle of regular town USA, then when these things come up, it's harder for people and officials to believe the victims when we don't talk about these wild ass things that could possibly happen in someone's home.
Yeah, no, okay, so do you want to say what she told you? She actually said?
Yeah, say it.
Okay. So basically, they find all the cameras. They set the girls down. They're like, look at all these cameras. There's all these images. There's images of them. There's images of their friends. You know what I'm saying? But there's images of these 2 young girls masturbating. And it brings them back to 2010 when things started going really well for them, when Russell Taylor came in their life. And, their mom started going, 0 to hero when it came to like cool mom with the drinks and the alcohol and the sex talk and the loosey goosey this, and you guys are cool and you guys like age is nothing but a number. And like they realized that even though that felt like, wow, that's awesome, and there's an inherent need for teens to feel like they're adults and cared for and respected. And so when you have that kind of adult doing that, it feels like you're being respected in some way that only in hindsight you realize they were putting you in harm's way and taking advantage of the fact that you didn't know better. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they talk about the fact their mom and Russell started grooming them. And one such incident from the older sister said that, well, the younger sister at 12 said that Russell one time was like, "You're still a virgin. You gotta get rid of that." And she's like,
Yeah.
and then one the older sister goes back to the her room, and she has a vibrator there, and like porn, and where her bed is again is like in a direct view of a video, and they have videos of her masturbating. So like they were, I mean, they were so exploited, of course, by this man, and how horrible that is. But what is unbelievably devastating, I mean, there's a lot of unbelievably devastating parts. I can't even talk about the bestiality. Like, I can't even talk about this part. All of this is so horrible. I think, I hope to God this is the worst themes of any docuseries that I ever want to discuss on this. I mean, this is just truly. Ugh. But having said that, what is also absolutely devastating is the fact that this mother just completely gave up her daughters for whatever was happening with inside her, or whatever she need that Russell had in her life. It's just unbelievable.
It is always so much more shocking when it's a woman. And I don't know, that's to me is where my like sexism comes in, because for some reason I feel like women are better, but like the truth is like they fucking aren't. This is a very good example of a woman who like completely let down her entire lineage. I mean, she was super Christian, so it's like what was happening in her Christianity? What was happening in her life? Or is she just somebody who is like, I want love so bad that I'm gonna do things that I mean, maybe she was comfortable with it. Like, I just don't know. Like, that's the thing. I just want to know. Like, I want to know. Like, were you comfortable? This is where the documentary. Now I know it's about Jared, but some part of me wants there to be like one kind of spinoff, because I'm like, I need to know like what the thing is.
I'm just like, okay, just can you tell me this? Like, any of these women's fathers that came before Russell Taylor, can I just like, so just like, was she chill with you? Nothing with you guys? Ever anything just like a little like, huh? Nothing with you guys, just anything that would, was she completely fucking normal until Russell Taylor came along, and then his just like promise of like a mildly upper middle class life just like got her to like lose her fucking shit? Like, I honestly, like, I'm mad, and so I'm just like cursing, but I'm also just like pissed, because I'm just like, you know what it is? It's like I do expect more from females, because I unabashedly think females are more are smarter and better. I think they're like I think we're I think that we're divine. So I can't tell you. Like, I think the feminine space is the feminine spirit is divine, and I know that I'm not saying that you can't have like a duality to you, but I do think that like inherently females are better.
And that's what makes this situation so just like wild. So then there is evidence of child abuse in their home. And then her, because of the bestiality, like, could you imagine like just the world in which we have to create a law about humans abusing animals? Just like crazy to me. And I mean, there's always some like these kind of farmer jokes about like farmer men and the sheep, which is like, what's wrong with you? Like, I get it, but like I don't get it. So they were doing what they needed to do, and then somehow these two branches of the FBI came together and realized that these two people knew each other, because immediately Subway and Jarrett cut ties with Russell. They're like, oh, what an awful thing he did. And I think at that point, I feel like Subway should have done some research into Jared. And there's also some like speculation of whether or not Subway knew. And the thing is that they may have known or have gotten complaints, but didn't find any validity in the complaints. And we now live in a world where if someone is slightly accused of something, companies will dump them fast, regardless of how much money they made from them. So it's really a testament to how we are nowadays. And this happened just in 2014. So it wasn't that long ago. Like, it was, folks have been out of high school for a while if you graduated in 2014, but 10 years, almost. But it's like, Yeah, it's almost. I just saw the realization on Chris's face as she was
I
like,
know. Well,
"No,
she's.
that
I
wasn't
this makes
10
me
years
do
ago.
math. I don't understand why she does. She's a horrible friend.
It wasn't 10 years ago. Why? That was just 5 years ago. No,
Middle
girl, it's
of. I
10.
mean,
So, anyways, yeah.
mm.
So we have this now rabbit hole, and the FBI go down this rabbit hole, and they already know because they have another branch that has the supposed child of whatever they haven't been able to prove it at this point. So they have this, and they put the two and two together, and then they raid Jared's home. They raid this man's home in front of all of his neighbors and his wife. They find what they're looking for. They find the extra cell phones. They find what they need. And this man does the right thing and just pleads guilty. He's like raided in July. He pleads guilty in August. His wife divorces him immediately. And then it's just like, I can't imagine. His legal team decides that they're going to create a scenario in which Jared is somebody who had an eating disorder. And then after he had the eating disorder, coupled with fame, he just became an addict of other kind. And the other kind was alcohol. Apparently he was an alcoholic, as well as a sex addict. And he was like mildly into pedophilia, like not fully, just like 16, 17-year-old pedophilia, like not 9, 10, as he was purported. I mean, and it's like, I honestly wish that they found 14 victims in total, and they gave him only 15 years or something. And I hope that prison justice does what it does for people who do things like this.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do a quick research and see what his because I do have an update at the end. I wonder though, and we're not quite done there, but I also wonder because obviously we talk about how many millions he has. If there's like millions of civil restitution that can be given to those like victims, like because specifically those girls will have therapy
Trauma
for the rest of their we'll have to do things for the rest of their lives to get over him and other people, like let's be honest, also their own mom, if you can even call her that, truly horrible. But so yeah, like when he goes into the jail, he now looks like this. He I don't know what he looks like in prison. Most people, of course, like lose weight in prison. I don't think anyone really gains weight in prison. But I'd be surprised. I'd wonder what would happen to him if he was ever in a situation where he was out, but then just left to his like horrible, depressed devices. And I wonder if he would ever like eat his way back to here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it would be his due. It's just like, how does someone just spiral so? I mean, how do you find? How do these people find each other? Like, that's my thing. It's like, I guess you just want to think that pedophilia is not something that's rampant, but for two people to just the cosmos to just put them in each other's path and they just feed off of each other, and it goes from everything from like, I mean, he spent $12,000 a year on prostitution. And in that in itself, I don't judge that. I'm like, get it from those hoes. They need it. But like, I mean, money, I like I'm okay with sex work. But like, I just 24 minutes. Let me write that. I don't know. It's just like wild. And it's just like terrible, and it's like he pleaded guilty immediately, which is like the right thing to do because so many people like R. Kelly try to say like they aren't guilty. And yeah, in 2020 Angela Taylor, a case was opened up against her, and we want them to throw the book at her too.
Yeah, so yeah, no, she already got sentenced. I have updates I'm sending to everyone here. Okay, so I'll tell you this. Jared wrote a letter in 2022 January, a handwritten letter to the New York Post. Looks like this. And
Okay. Thank you for taking.
and yeah, and he looks like this.
Okay, yeah.
So he has lost weight. I can try and read it. Thank you for the time to reach out and write me. At this time, I am not doing any interviews. To answer a couple of your questions, whoever posted that I was taking culinary arts is wrong. I have not. COVID protocols the past 2 years has limited the programming being offered here at FCI Englewood. In response to the rigorous fitness regime, that is true. I run 4 to 5 miles every day and am the most healthy and in shape I've ever been. We don't have a lot of control over our daily lives in prison, but I don't know why I'm reading this so horribly. I'll try and make up. The working out is one of the things I can control. I currently weigh 180 pounds. So so I'm just gonna tell you this right now. He obviously has an eating disorder. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, you did.
I feel like right now I'm also sorry. And this is the first thing you're gonna say in prison. You got in
Yeah.
prison for pedophilia. This is the first thing you're saying? This is but fucking okay, so God bless. Sorry, this is triggering in so many ways, but not that I have eating disorder, but like also the fact that he's so horrible, that he's such a narcissist, and he like, but it's like he's a narcissist, but then he's obviously has like eating disorder. It's like crazy, just layered things, and also like it's just so crazy. Okay. My love. Okay, oh wait. How do I finish this and how do I get back to where I was? Okay. Okay. So I try to avoid too much junk food. I snack on granola bars, nuts, and protein bars. I feel really good physically and mentally. This
No,
time of
you're
year,
not.
I love watching. I know this time of year, I love watching college and NFL football, which makes the weekends fly by. I read the NY Times daily and like reading all kinds of books, especially historical fiction. I still love to laugh and smile. I realize I royally screwed up to wind up where I am. I was selfish and entitled. I think about all the people I've let down every single day, especially my family. All I can do is learn from my stupid mistakes. To be a better man when I get released in a few years, I very much look forward to restarting my life and enjoying every moment with my family who have stood by and supported. No, the wife left. Maybe the family, there's different family there. Okay, so stood by and supported me. I'm so lucky to have them. There is no parole in the federal system. You have to do at least 85% of your given sentence. I really don't know what I'll do in the future. It's sort of an open book, I guess. Prison takes away so much, but I really miss the small things like turkey delights. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, sorry. Like walking. Sorry. I really miss the small things like walking barefoot. Sorry. Walking barefoot on carpet, sleeping DNA nice comfy mattress, eating with real silverware, having access to a microwave. There is a line in the Shawshank Redemption movie that goes something like, "You can either get busy living or get busy dying. When you are sent to prison,
Get
I've done
busy
everything."
dying. Get busy dying. Get busy being attacked in prison for your fucking traumatization of 14 kids, you animal.
He's does this whole fucking letter. I've done everything I can to get busy living and make the most of this unwanted experience. This fucking monster.
He
He is disgusting. Oh my! I hope he can't get paroled. I know, no, keep him in. You're absolutely, his 15 years is not fucking enough. I don't understand. No, I hate, and anyone who stood by him. He's a disgusting,
Yeah, no,
horrible person.
you don't get to get stood by when you do stuff like that. And if so, people need to be real quiet about their sticking up by them. Sticking up by them. All right.
It's the opposite of snitching. We want you to snitch.
Yes.
We're like, don't be loyal. No loyal.
Yes, absolutely not. All right, guys, this is the end of this nonsense. Thank you so much for watching it with us. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So then the mom and Russell Taylor were also sentenced, but much longer because they of the things like 20 and 15 and 20 and 17 years. And the mother never had any sort of certain statement. But of course, the daughters went and just said, like, we'll have therapy and probably pills for the rest of our lives. And Russell said that I have to tell you what Russell said. He barely took blame. He said that having for Jared. Wait, this is
Say that all again. Say that was. Oh, you're frozen now.
Okay.
Okay, go say it again.
Okay, can you hear me? So then Subway, Jared's pedophile colleague, and his wife are sentenced to a combined 60 years in prison for child sex abuse. As Pervert tells court, he's a sorry excuse for a man. Yeah, Russell Taylor was sentenced to 27 years in prison on Monday, and his wife, Angela Baldwin Taylor, 40, was also sentenced to more than 30 years. They had the videos and the pictures of the girls in the home and stuff. So, and also, yeah, like there is nothing that I found about her. Like I literally, because I, was just like, how do you do this to your own daughters? Like, I was just like, is there anything she says in prison? Like, is there anything that she says, like remorse, whatever? I couldn't find anything. But I thought what he said was ridiculous. He claimed that Fogel was sex crazed and demanded that he call him daddy while setting up cameras in his house with the help of his wife so they could send Fogel footage of children undressing. He also claims that at one point Fogel wanted him to acquire a date rape drug so the Subway spokesman could use it on minors, he claimed in 2015. That's absolutely just, I don't know what to tell you about. I mean, obviously this is horrible. This whole thing is just a nightmare. But anyway, so everyone is in prison, but like, they
should be actually underneath the prison.
Yeah, like Russell and this person made it and Jared just had it. And all Jared had was just like tapes of him saying what he wanted to do. And, but it was like, I guess 15 years was the most they could get without like tangible proof, because like when we wanted to do the like birthday party sting, it was like we could catch him crossing state lines, kind of like Catch a Predator style, like Jim, like Hansen style, like, Jared, what are you here for? You want some cake? But it wasn't that, unfortunately. So I think that's why he got only 15 years. But I literally am like, when is someone like killing him? No one's gonna kill him.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was okay. That's like, you're like, Wall's like, it's the American way. Honey.
Oh God, I just wish harm upon these folks. I normally don't wish harm upon people. I think you cannot commit that no, this is not a redeemable act.
Okay.
So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for bearing with us through this as we like tumble through this docu-series. And I think we are tired. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are going to let you guys go. But if you would like to get the visuals of me like laying out, of me like looking terribly into the camera, you can do so by joining us on Patreon for $10 a month at patreon.com/docusweeties. And if you would like to get with us for free on our socials, Chris will tell you where you could do that.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome to follow us on Instagram at DocuSweeties. You can follow us on Twitter at DocuSweeties1 or on TikTok at DocuSweeties. We really appreciate you guys. And again, sorry about the trigger warnings of this. If you need any like resources on the Discovery page for this docuseries, there is a resource page if you need some contact numbers. Anyways, yeah, I just give special love to those two girls that really have to like deal with it. My heart goes out to them. Anyway, we have some other things on the docket that is not as horribly themed as this one, but until then, we can't wait to talk to you, and we hope you have a great rest of your week. All right.
Bye.